What's up, guys? This is Matt Dollar, and you're going to watch my second round here at the Melbourne Open 8th tier at Wickham Park in Florida. We're actually starting this round out on hole 10. I'm on the second card.
So that's the one that rolled.
That was a hatchet I threw there for a roller. I threw a good roller both rounds on Saturday on this hole. Got inside the circle both times, but inside some kind of nasty bush both times too. I was holding the spike in my hand, and then the wind picked up. Tried to switch to the Cenis and splashed out left. Missed that putt both rounds from inside the circle. It was a tough break. This hole 11, and it's about 350 feet. I threw a pretty good shot with my stiletto and actually slid right into the base of that tree you see to the left of the basket that has a root that comes out exposed. And it kind of just stood up and rolled about another 30 feet. Otherwise, I'd have been looking at a drop-in. And left side chains on these Mach 2s and don't get the birdie again. This hole is about 380, I think, and everything on the left side of that creek that the little bridge is going over is in bounds, and everything to the right of it is OB. And as you can see here, just to the right of that tree and the right side of the screen is that little creek still. So it was really a tough hole when it was windy. I threw the compass on it that time. Almost made that long putt. Had a pretty frustrating day when it comes to long putts. Seemed to be hitting the basket from just about everywhere in 70 feet. I was doing a really good job of reading the wind on the long putts, just not quite getting them in. This hole here, I believe, was about 350 feet. And it's directly straight ahead of that bush towards the end. Looking at like a 45, 50 footer here. Finally made one go in. I think that was the first long putt I made the entire day. So this hole here is also about 350 feet. And it's just a right turn past some really nasty rough. And I made the right turn directly into the really nasty rough. I'm actually turbo putting the... I think that was probably a Justice.
Young Master?
Yep, there it is. I just picked up my Justice right there. So, another par. One down for this round so far. This hole here is a Mando. The tree that I go just to the right of there is the Mando tree. And then I caught a bush. This is a really long par 3. Probably around 450. With lots of stuff in the way, so I actually didn't see anyone get a 2 on it the entire weekend on all 4 rounds. Not my favorite hole. I believe I 3'd it every time. This hole here, I believe, said it was close to 500. And there's some stuff in the way, but there's a few open routes too to get up to the hole. Came up quite short after hitting something, so I had to throw a little sidearm around.
Careful. There's all kinds of pokey stuff in Florida.
Came away with lots of battle scars from this weekend. And getting stabbed there apparently by something. This is hole 17, probably one of my favorite holes on the layout. If you hear me there, that's because I hit that same exact spot on that same bush or tree in the first round.
Get right in there where I can't putt. Perfect.
Yeah, this was a really cool hole. There was actually water running down the entire right side of the fairway. And the wind was blowing left to right on this hole the entire weekend, so if you went right, you were OB. There I am having to make my putt for a 3 over some stuff. Here's hole 18. It's one of the easiest holes on the course, but with the wind, it's a little sketchy. You got OB short and deep.
Man, that was close.
Almost aced it there with my Cetus. I believe it just air bounced down right before it got there. Just ended up just past the pin. Well, that's a birdie that I needed, so I'm 2 down through 9 holes. And here we go to the front 9, which has all 3 of the par 4s. This here is a par 3. I believe it was close to 500 feet. This is actually the best drive I had on it the whole time. You could go straight up the middle there and just hope not to hit a tree and land in the tall stuff. I was trying to go around the right side. This was the only time I was really successful with that shot. Still, just gives me a really long putt. I only saw this hole birdied, I think, once between the 4 rounds in my 4 different groups. Seem like a lot of holes kind of like this where you just have to throw really far. But 3s are good on holes like this. There's some of my card mates, Ryan and Jamie, both Prodigy sponsored players. As is the other card mate, Cole. That was the only one interrupting the Prodigy party on this card. I think I was waiting right here to make sure that guy on the bike didn't ride into our fairway. This is actually one of the shorter holes. I'm throwing a Cetus straight up the middle. Needs to hyzer a little bit. That gives me a pretty good look at a birdie that's much needed. There we go, got one in there. Hole 3 here is really tough. There's a Mando. The tree I went to the right of is the Mando. And then you gotta screen back left at the end before you get to the water that's out of bounds, and it's just a tough hole. So right here I have a decision. I'm probably 60 feet from the basket. I have to straddle out of the stuff, and it's a long putt. I really should just be pitching up under the basket. But for some reason I feel like I have to go for it. And that is exactly why I should have laid up. That was pretty much a no-brainer, but sometimes I get greedy, and that was definitely one of those times. So now I have to try and save par, because if not, I'm looking at my first bogey of the round, in a round where it's hard to get birdies. Probably looking at 40-something feet here. Good line, just not high enough. Left the spike just a little bit short. It's a bad feeling when you manufacture a bogey, because there was no reason to get a bogey there. I threw a pretty good drive, could just put it under the basket. Now we move on to hole 4, which was a par 4. That was the ballista that I threw there. It was a snowline ballista, my furthest flying disc. And I crushed it. This was by far my best drive on this hole of all 4 rounds. In fact, this hole really ate me up a little bit because of this really thick rough right there behind the basket. I had a disc roll in there in one of my other rounds you might see a video of later. Here I am busting the stiletto down the right side. You could attack this hole straight on with a little anti-flex shot, but it was tough in the wind. So I was really just trying to give myself a putt here. There's me trying to touch a branch that my girlfriend and camera lady, Carla Seward, said I couldn't touch, and she was right. I have no ups at all. So this is a weird little spot I'm in. I'm kind of behind this palm tree, and there's a little like thorn bush or briar vine hanging down in front of me, and it's blowing in the wind, and so I'm trying to time it to putt when it's not directly in front of me. It blew right into my putter as I putted. That was not the best result there. This is another hole where you just kind of chunk one at all these nasty bushes and just hope not to land in the middle of them. And I landed right in the middle of them, so try to get in here without falling down. That was almost bad.
I was gonna say, you saving us?
So
Oh
you can
gosh,
see
so
the
yeah.
flag at the very left side of the screen sticking up over that green stuff. That's the where the basket is. I tried to give that one a chance and ended up sailing into the bushes right behind the basket. Not a big fan of how those basket locations are less than 3 feet from that nastiness, but that's Florida golf. Really turned my stiletto over there.
You okay over there?
This is a really cool
I've been
par
there.
4 where you have to throw across a road. It's really right in the landing zone if you try to throw a bomb. So I was trying to lay up on this side of the landing zone, or this side of the road. So now there's OB over to the right also. The basket is straight behind that giant bush in the middle, about 20 feet. 20 feet behind that, you can see the flag right there.
Good shot, man. Thanks.
That was a really good shot. Good to get a birdie, and I believe that puts me at 4 under par. And here's another par 4. This is a nasty one. If you see that bush on the right side of your screen, the basket is actually probably 100, 150 feet to the right of that, maybe 200 feet past it. So I just laid up over to the left of the lake. This is definitely the signature hole in this course. I could just throw 600 feet in the wind, then I probably would try and park it. And I'm sure there's some guys out there who would, but for us mere mortals, we have to lay up to this side and then throw a hyzer pretty much straight down the water line and fight that wind that's pushing right to left. So if you want to get a birdie here, you had to really flirt with the water. And I did, and came back just in time. There's another birdie.
Good three, good stick.
These back-to-back birdies will take me to 5 under with 1 hole to play. This is hole 9. It's about 260 feet, straight up the middle with a slight left turn at the end. Kind of have to hit a gap between those trees and not go too far left, or else you'll end up in another one of the big nasty sawgrass bushels. I believe they're palmetto bushes. So really hoping to make this putt and finish this round really strong. Try to line it up, take my time, putting with the spike here because not too much wind, it's a little bit of a tailwind. Not able to get that float on line, but just too low. Not happy with that effort. So on the round here at 5 under. Good form on that putt.
Nailed it.
And it was a good round. It took me back to the lead card. And I will have round 3 and 4 out fairly soon. And then I'll also have the final 9 with everyone on it out at some point. Please check back, and thanks for watching. I'd like to thank my girlfriend Carla Seward for filming and Latitude 64 for their support. Thanks, guys.